Do you see this? This has to stop. It's actually the worst support. No, the worst role and champion combination in the entire game. Well, technically not. I've played Hecarim and Volibear support, but you know what I mean. I love off-meta picks, and that's what this whole channel's about. And I understand, sometimes you just want to turn your brain off. Don't worry about farming. Don't worry about multiple abilities. Just hit one key and watch the damage fly. But no, stop it. I made sure to ask my friend who does main MF with over 500,000 masteries on that champion what he thought about this and what he thought about MF support. The first thing he said, other than the fact that everything that MF does is better done by virtually every other support, might as well pick Ashe. And he was right. AP MF sucks. 45% win rate in over 100,000 games is atrocious. If you want to go this, just pick Ashe. Ashe has a 48% win rate and is essentially the same thing. But when you pick support MF, that just means when you queue up, you're looking to lose the game, but it's not over yet. We're gonna bring her back. We're gonna make MF support great again, and it only takes one change. But before we get into the change, let's take a look at a normal AP MF game and see what makes it so bad. I mean, I've seen MF support top the damage charts. It means you're doing something good, right? Well, not really. And let's just get this out of the way. I've played MF support more than I should have, especially when I'm talking this much shit about it. But just for the testing's sake, for science, we really want to see why people play this pick. So we played 3 games just to get a feel, and first up, we just max E for the most poke possible. The pick actually feels really good. You don't feel like you miss out on anything. You get your poke damage out, keep the enemy off the wave, and I will admit, watching the enemy burn with your E brings a smile to my face. And this is why people gravitate to the pick. It feels great early game. Yeah! Sorry, I got carried away there. You make a great impact, and you're doing it really safe. Just as safe as all the other regular poke supports. Brand, Lux, Xerath, and the damage is close to them as well. And actually, when you take a look at it and do the math, the full duration of MFE does more damage than the poke abilities of other champions. Then you think about it again. The full duration. The full duration. Most of the time, you don't get the full duration of damage. It's only about half at most, and then usually it can be even lower. And once the lane's over, you really miss out on being impactful. From there, you are a poke support through and through. So let's just put that on the table because that's the comparison we need to make. And basically in both the games that we played, in one time we lost lane and the other time we won lane. Now I said we played 3 games, but in the first game, my computer was so mad at me for picking MF support, it wouldn't even give me the frame rate to do so. But sorry, after you're done with the laning phase, the fun, it's all ogre now. You can still get in your poke damage, however your cooldown on your main ability is almost double that of other poke champions, and they also have the opportunity to select other abilities that do damage. Although the damage is statistically there with your E, generally, any damage that you deal is incremental and usually won't pull a champion out of a fight. And now, as the game goes on, we have to consider the scaling that you have. 35% on double up, 15% on your E, your main ability, and 25% on your ult. And that just won't cut it when champions start to get their resistances, and you just start to fall off hard. And this is the biggest weakness. You lack scaling and late game presence. You can see the potential of your max damage, however most of the time the damage areas are just easy enough for the enemy champions to move out of, so you're basically just AP Nasus support. So as you might have noticed, the scaling is the biggest issue, and I'm sure you know where we might be going. That's right, we're going lethality assassin MF. The lethality version of MF takes a huge jump up to a 56% win rate, and although has a lot less games, so it can't be like a statistical fact, I think 56 is higher than 45, so let's see if we can make it better. If you're enjoying the video, give it a like. If you want to see more like this, please subscribe and let me know in the comments below if I missed anything. Now, when I tried it out, there were some massive differences. Early on in the game, we max our Q instead of our E so we can poke enemies past the minions. Then we can use our E generally just for a slow because the damage is basically non-existent. W is there just to push towers, and your ult is a good way to punish enemies for overcommitting. Now, I played some additional games, and this is what I found out. Now, I'm not gonna lie. The early game actually didn't feel as good as the APMF. It feels a little less smooth. You don't have that easy poke damage. You really need to focus more on your positioning so you can line up your Qs so it hits the enemy. And you don't get the free crit because you don't want to execute the minion and throw out the ADC's farming. Now, when I was playing the games, the first game did not leave me hopeful for a win rate. However, the game did get to the 38-minute mark, and I actually still felt like I was properly contributing and helping the team. Whereas previously, when another game went to the 38-minute mark, I really didn't feel like I was doing anything. But still, it ended in a close game, and it was really just one good MF ult or were a team fight away and we could have taken it. And after that, things seemed to look up. We were contributing to our team. Now, we weren't like giving the best KDAs or maybe not even the best performances out there, but we are still able to deal a ton of damage in the late game. But then eventually, just as all things go up, must come down. We got a few more bad games, but then it went back up again. So is League, the constant wave of winning and losing. Now, we were able to make the change. Were we able to make MF the best support in League? Well, no. However, in playing the games, it felt overall better. We're taking that role of a ranged assassin, and as assassins, it's pretty much feast or famine. And when we did get into that late game, it still felt like we were contributing to our team, and we were doing meaningful damage, and we were actually a threat to the enemy team, the way APMF really isn't. I mean, you're essentially a second ADC, and even in the game where we're against the enemy A team, where we were the backups to the C team, I still felt like I was doing something. I am afraid of how to think those other games would have went if I was AP, and as a disclaimer, I did go 3-4, but I definitely think it's worth giving it a shot. The scaling into the late game is way better, and hey, a 45% win rate is always something that can be improved on. Well, I'm sorry I wasn't able to support MF's woes in the time I was able to play her, but if you wanted to see a support that is insane and on the rise, check out Silas as he terrorizes the Rift. Talk to you later!